Okay, so let's see. We're gonna get started. Good morning, everyone, for this week's distinguished webinar series in AI and cybersecurity. Today's speaker is Dr. Wei Qiu. His title is ERO Event Analysis Process Analysis for EMS Events. Dr. Wei, currently a lead engineer of event analysis in the reliability assessment and performance analysis at NERC. As an EMS subject matter expert, Wei is responsible for analyzing the EMS events reported, understanding the causes, trending, and the working with industry to develop remediation strategies. Prior to NERC, Wei was a software manager managing the EMS applications, especially state estimation and real-time contingency analysis at GE Grid Solutions in Redmond, Washington. Dr. Wei earned his Ph.D. in EE from Illinois Institute of Technology. He's an IEEE senior member. Dr. Wei, thank you so much for spending your time this morning at UND, and I appreciate for agreeing to this talk. And we are so honored to have you here, and the floor is yours for you to share your screen.
Hey, thank you so much, Professor. Okay, let me share my screen. Sharing is here.
Yes, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And good morning and good afternoon, because glad has this opportunity to be here virtually and to talk about the NERC ERO event analysis process and the overview of the EMS performance. And during my preparation, this talk, I watched all the recordings from previous webinars. I feel today my presentation is a slide different than the talk you had before. My presentation doesn't have any algorithms, formulas, and hot topic like cybersecurity, cloud, such things. Today, I'm gonna present one is very important process for us to analyze the events. Based on this is analyzed, and also this process, we could summarize useful information and share with industry to prevent event or some damage from happening again, or maximally reduce the likelihood this happening before, to enhance the EMS or the industry reliability and resilience. Although we have this physical distance, I am pretty confident we will have engaging discussion today. Okay, without further ado, let's start it. And okay, let me, here's one's better. Oh, no. Sorry. It's okay? Okay. So today my presentation including the 3 parts. First, I will give a brief introduction about our company, our North American Electric Reliability Collaboration, NERC. You will know who we are, what do we do. And then I will give you some overview about the ERO event analysis process. From that, you know, this is very important, just mentioned before, this is very important process for us to analyze events. So based on these events, we know what happened and why it's happened. And most importantly, we can find the root cause and build a chain and train in this event to provide recommendations and also correct actions as well. And also, this is why today I can be here to share this EMS performance. And then we followed by the analysis of the EMS outages. I will share some common theme from EMS events and identified through this process. And at the end, we have the Q&A. So you can type your question in the chat box or the Q&A box. So I will answer them at the end of my presentation. Okay, our NERC has a long story. I think it's back to 1965. There was a large blackout in Northeast America. So in the 1967, so a Federal Power Commission investigation recommended to form a Council of Power Coordination. They can coordinate each other to prevent this happen. So later in the 2003, we'll break out in the Northeast as well. So the ERO being formed by the U.S. Congress. So also the Congress also appoint NERC as a ERO. So maybe a lot of people think our NERC is a part of a federal government. Actually, it's not. We are a nonprofit international regulatory authority. So we work with the Canada and the Mexico, part of Mexico, the authority as well, to make sure there's a reliability across the North America. So our NERC has assessed and reported the reliability and the adequacy of North America ballpark system. So far, we have 6 regions. You see that there's a geography map. From the west coast, from west to east coast, we have WAC, MRO, TXRE, and the SEECS, RF, and the MPCC. So I especially locate the North University, the North Dakota is belong to the MRO region. So while this NERC and the regions play the different roles in performing the ERO enterprise program, those roles are equally important and complementary. So ensure so we already the ERO enterprise working as the synchronous machine effectively, efficiently, and collaboratively. And what do we do? So especially we will develop and enforce the reliability standards. So NERC was approved as ERO in the United States and back to 2006. So since then, so NERC developed multiple the mandatory standards. But NERC, FERC provided a review of the standards to ensure it's just and reasonable for these standards. FERC must approve these standards before they become enforceable in the United States. Since 2006, FERC has approved over 100 standards to ensure the ballpark reliability and resilience. And also will provide annually assessed seasonal and long-term, like winter assessment, summer assessment. So for the wind, we will see the cold weather like this year and back to the 2022. So we have a very bad weather in the Texas. And for the peak, we have the hot wave. So in the Texas this year, it's hot wave of California as well. So we provide access to make sure we have a resource adequacy to make sure keep lights on there. And we also monitor ballpark system situation awareness, just like what I do. So every day we collect all information from all across the United States, from West Coast to East Coast. We analyzed, see what's going on, even have some cyber or physical attack. So we'll see, we'll build a chain and report this one with a service industry. And the last one, not the list, is the educate, the train, and also certify the industry, the personnel. Because so as long as you won't be in the control room, work there, you have to have the certificate from our NERC called different level, like a transmission operator certificate and recoordination, reliability coordination certificate. And then with different certificate, you can perform different reliability duties. Here just is just a talk about our NERC. One of function is assessment. So here is assessment and the map here. So we have an annual season, long-term, and a biannual probability assessment as well. So you can just mention we have 6 regions. So, but however, for assessment, we break down the multiple pieces which aligns existing footprint of ISO and RTO. Maybe you have California ISO, BC Hydro in Canada, Vancouver, Canada, and also AESO and Alberta in Canada, also Texas, ERCOT, SPP, MISO, PGM, the ISO New England, such things. So now we move to our the other topic is event and event analysis. So what is event? So because you could have a different definition with different context, so in a different scenario. So for us, as an event identified as a single instant or the linked instance due to the initiating cause resulting in the undesirable impact to the BES. Like you lost the situation awareness for 30 minutes. Maybe you lost the estimation, lost the real-time contingency analysis, caused the entity could not perform a real-time assessment more than 30 minutes. Also, you lost 3 the BES transmission lines, units, or maybe transformers. We'll see what's going on over there. Maybe you have a shade loading greater than 1,000 megawatt. So it's also event as well. So to analyze this event, we build the event analysis process and also cascade cost code assignment process. These 2 processes work together for us to analyze these events and absorb this very useful information, build the chain, and we can share with very good information with industry. Here is some QR barcode here. If you are interested, use your iPhone or the Android phone to scan this barcode. They will lead you to our website. You can find more information over there. I will stop for a couple of seconds. You can scan that. All right, so why we need a ERO event analysis process? Because if this process provides a structured and consistent approach to performing event analysis, right? Because if you for the single events, if you use different way to analysis them, you may get a different conclusion. But you can, however, you could not build the chain, see what's going on, and use the same standards, the same code, right, to get useful information. And also, this is as a way for the ERO and the industry to learn from these events and to build corrective actions to prevent the recurrence. And also they can get the lesson learned as well, right? Because we always learn from each event. Not all events can be lesson learned, but we learn from each event, right? No matter it's near missed or reportable events. So always we can get useful information there to prevent this happening or mitigate the risk of recurrence. Also, this is a showcase the collaboration between the industry and the ERO and the regions as well. So this is effectiveness requirements, participation, and support. So nobody knows the event better than who was involved, right? So here, really, we thank you all entities who participate in our EAP process. So they openness and the willingness to this event. So now we know the understanding this event better, so we can share this information and show this trend today as well, right? Here is just that we show this chart. How could we do this event analysis? First, we will have some event like here. So first we got a report from our the entities through the different report like OE17 and the European 4 is to the mandatory report. And if for some events those this didn't don't match the reporting standards for these standards, they can voluntarily report to us. We're also open to that. So once we receive this report, we'll read all these details and work with the industry to build this event. We know we may ask more questions based on this report. So why this happened, how it's happened, what corrective action they performed, and what vendor tell you, and to prevent. And we, based on this process, we got a lot of good outcomes, like a cascading event chain. Like today, I'm going to show the EMS events, how the over 5 years, how they performed, and also lesson of obviously, and also alerts at the reports. So if you pay attention, for right now, lots of resource like wind and the solar and the battery things connect to our grid. So we call the inverter-based resource. However, so we first time back to maybe a couple years ago, we got the events. So they didn't mention any about the IBRs or the solar, but suddenly building the report, we figured out, we see the over 1,000 megawatts lost due to the single disturbance. So, but due to we based on follow this process, we ask more questions why the single disturbance lost over 1,000 megawatt load. So now we figured out it's because it's triggered IBR, some momentary cessation, right? Like triggered at the moment, the old generation being stopped at the momentary. So caused the load being shared to make the system balance as well. So that's why we follow these events. We build a lot of other standards and the requirements and the paper publications reward IBRs. So each steps here, you can see we involve the entity and to the entity regions and the NERC. And then later, finally, we go back to industry, like it's a graded circle. We see the event, analyzed, and get the information and get back to the industry to prevent this happening again. So each support by and reflect quality by previous steps. Now I'm going to share one example here. What do we do? So I've been talking so many here before this. I talked so many. What do we do and how great this process is. So now we give an example. Of course, it's fake events. So like here we receive the events. So this all entity told us. So around 9:26 a.m. morning, IT and the personnel the performing the troubleshooting. Right, they issued as a command to accurate performance information. And later, this command caused the error in the telecom switches, right? As a result, so they broken the connectivities to the EMS or the other applications. And so the system, so the until the system fail over to backup center. Later, EMS support figure out and discover what's wrong. They figure out the software, the bug in the telecom switches. So vendor being called and the support and contact, and later the switch, this error being corrected. So everything back to normal. So this is all the typical information we received regarding one events. So once we receive, so what do we do? First, we review the event, the reporting here. So identify, capture impact activities, build a story. See here. So we know the issue is the prime control center lost connectivities to EMS and other applications. Now, what is directly caused this problem? Because they lost the communications, right, between to outside and inside. It switches down, so they cannot get more information to the EMS from the field. So we signed A2B7C01, a communication pass have a problem. But what caused this, the communication pass issue is software, right? We built a trend here. So A2B607 software failure. So typically a lot of people or some organizations stop here. So it's a software issue. So they blame vendors. Hey, vendor, you didn't fix the issue. But maybe you need to ask further questions a little bit more. So has the vendor realized the issue before? Also, this first time this event, this bug being reported, or maybe vendor already provide fix to the entity, right? Because they know, just like a Microsoft, every month they will publish some patches, and then you need to download and apply to your system. So after this question, we ask questions to the entity. So what I asked just now. So they figured out that later we turns out this vendor already know this issue and also provide this fix and communicate this fix to the entity IT. However, this IT has not got time to review this event, this fix or the applied action on this. So we think it's an organization issue here. So they need to build a process to quickly review this patch from vendors and make decision and make schedule to action on this patch. So monthly update, they may need to receive the patch or any bug fixing every day from different vendors, Microsoft, or maybe from the Cisco or EMS vendors as well. The entity need to build a process to identify the patches, give them some label said this is critical, important, or medium or minor. Based on this is a label, they can make schedule. So when we'll provide the apply this patch as soon as possible, right, to prevent this happening. So the build this chain, so we just synchronize. So we break down these events to these 3 or 4 the codes here. So very easy. So what happened directly? Because you lost communication. Why? Because software issue. Why software issue? Because when they tell you didn't take the action to apply the patches. So we do similar things for the other events. So for each event, from each event we got similar chains. So we can look at how many software failures, right? How many events during this year? How many events due to the previous industry in-house experience was not effectively used, right? Because we can get a chance to these events. So the last year we received the multiple EMS events. Due to the analysis, we find always append the software issue and point to the same common EMS vendors. So we contact that EMS vendors and tell them what's going on and share the information and the details with them. Vendor take very serious step and actions to crack this software and also update the documents and release to all these customers. I think this is one of a great example showing here how this events process can benefit our industry. Also, it's as a lesson learned. So based on this kind of the event analysis, we know so how to correct this action is also so what is happening. So maybe the caused by same issue, but you need to take different actions. For example, we publish some lesson learned for the real-time contingency failure and also state spatial failure. It may cost a lot of things by the model, by software, or by something else, or by settings. So we summarize, combine this kind of events together to publish one lesson learned to share all the possibility could cause this software failure. So share with them. And the most important is show the correct actions and the lesson learned as well. from here, you see that this is the example. So first we have the primary, the interest group, like a TOTOPs, substation design groups. So, and also we have a problem statements, just like you guys write in the paper, it's abstractly. Next details, the listening, the what happened, what the details, how it's happened. And followed by the corrective action, the entity that took at the moment to bring the system back to normal. And at the end is the we will share the lesson learned based on this event, what we can learn from this one to prevent. So if you're interested, you can log in in currently our NERC.com. We already have published over 200 lessons learned since 2013. So it covers the misoperations, cybers, EMS, and also like a battery, the failures. So a lot of good information over there. Okay, now I'm going to share some EMS overview. So now you can see the view. So back to 2010 is back and from 2010 to the couple months ago, you can see the up and down here, right? So you can see first the rise in between 2002 and 2003. So this is a huge jump from 28 to 30 to 87. Here is because if you go back to recall the process. First, we are this kind of connections based on the reporting, right? Because during that 2006, we have a new report called one edge definition. So we push to all the industry. So we got more information at the moment. So this is why the number of events jump from 20 to 80 is maybe it's doubles and so triples is here. So after 30 years, from keeps consistent to 87, 1995, 87, 83. Back to 2019. So here is two important the standards took effective at the moment. First, the TOP10, and the request all entity to perform real-time assessment within 30 minutes. So with these new standards, the entity made a huge process enhancement and also a software enhancement as well. They work with the EMS vendors to build new features, new functions, and to monitor the systems, and also smooth and also optimize all the procedures process to handling this event. And also they build the 20/7 supporting team on site. So this greatly significantly reduce the outages duration time, so they can, because support is on site, as long as the event occurred, they can immediately jump into the problem and then provide a fix. So quickly bring the system back to normal. Here is just break down this the total events by the functions. Here function we have AGC, automatic generation, the control, and ICCP, RTU, and the complete losses means and lost everything, and also the SEECS estimation RTCA. Based on this chain, you can see the blue bar as represent the estimation and the RTCA. You see the grade change a lot, right? So from back to 2014, there were 28, the increase to 40, 50, and 40. And then the significant then the shrink decrease from 20, 14, and only 5 this year. So this also just mentioned one way is take great actions, prevent this happening again, because there's partial loss, especially for estimation RTC. It's very easily to bring this back within 30 minutes because maybe it's just some bad data they received from the neighboring the entities or from field, very easily cracked. And also they can fail over to the different machine or different server or even control center, then bring this again. You can, but you can see the yellow or orange bars keep consistent since 2018. You see the 25, 31, 32, 25, and 38. So it's consistent. However, the duration is decreased. So here I'm just sharing some the challenges or some common theme we identified through this event analysis process. First of all is a modeling issue. So as we know, so no matter you do what algorithm, so you have to build a model first, right? You want to get the correct, appropriate represent this model to the real world. So the challenge for us is for all entities for external model. So you know what you have, but you may not know where about your neighbors. But you need for a EMS or the EMS software need to know about your one tier or two tiers are outside your network, right? Because you have some tie line. Also, you want to know the impact because you get some power from your neighbors. So this most challenges here is called the external model because first of all, the model provided by your neighbors, right? So neighbor may use different EMS software, right? Because I may use from GE, you may use OSI, he use from ABB. They talk about they have the same language, right? Talk about the EMS software. The book on the textbook, they're same algorithm, but they use different way to present this this line. You may model the zero impedance called ZBR, or maybe he model ZBR as the breaker, right? Because it's different. So they cause some some algorithm could be different because you maybe change the topology if you model as a breaker, but you model as a zero ZBRs, maybe you impact the Jacobian because you have very zero things for your diagonals. So they see a lot of problem here. So, and also you have a EMS model, maybe you have some called a network model, right? Network, a market model. Market model doesn't care about the reactive power connections or voltages. They always assume, well, voltage 1.0 per U. And also naming convention is different. I call it AB is short term, but they call AABB. So how the people know they're talking about similar things. So right now we just push a lot of called SIM model. They use the same naming convention. They can easily exchange this model. Right now it's still a challenge. So I hope for that later they can all the entity can work together, have a same common modeling. The other things, second things in our manual is a bad data detection. So bad data always there. So because you maybe have some annoying or maybe some break failure or some even RTU failure that cause some problem, right? Because they can just send the back value. For example, a break open, but the measurement on this breaker or this line tell you it's 100 megawatt or 100 megafarad. So say, oh, what's going on? Is the line is open while I still make a measurement there. So which one you need to trust? Trust breaker status or you trust the analog measurements, right? Either one, so depends. Also, the other challenge is, so the bad data with good quality SCADA status. So if you are familiar with SCADA, you can see the SCADA tell you is good, bad, and also suspicious, right? So a lot of sometimes we know if you have a bad quality labeled in this the measurement, very easy to detect what's going on. But for some breaker, they already view very bad on the field. You know there's a closed, but it tell you open. But the quality they said good. This is how you trust them, right? So and also once you detect, you know what's going on there, but how you replace, given the right the value there. So maybe because maybe use AI or maybe use machine learning. So based on some history data or maybe you do some sanity check before feeding this data to the EMS software. And the third challenge for us is we need to build the EMS health assessment indicators. So we need to know EMS application solution qualities, right? Because not only they can converge, but also the solutions make sense. So for estimation, you can see the residuals, is it make sense or not? You cannot have some residuals weird, but still call it converge. We cannot cook in data. Also, for real-time RTCA, you cannot just ignore the real power voltage and make sure real power convergence. And also, we need to monitor network communications. So far, all the software need to rely on this communications, get the data, and also measurement, analog measurement, all some state measurement from the field. We rely on the switch, are louder. So there's all the connections. So sometimes flipping, right? So you have some things from on, off, on, off. So right now you need to know, hey, I have the switch the 5 times. I need to broke this pass, switch to that different way. So right now, so sometimes just if you immediately work with them, so your server on off will cause a lot of problem. And also need some monitor on the resource usage like disk, CPU, and memories. So EMS software is software as well. They need to base on the operation systems. They also utilize or leverage the CPU, disks, and the memory as well. So within the machine, you may install the the virus, or maybe you have another Pi, like an Oracle database also running the system. So everyone need to share same platform. The CPU, maybe the CPU and the memory disk will be monitors, just make sure you have enough disk there for the data collection, and also you have a memory to handle this kind of things, not the memory leak. Also need the monitors the data from not only front end, but also the application says. So you just make sure your real-time application using the latest the real measurement data for the calculation, not repeatedly use the old data. Also, next one is for some is called the facility power. So for the UPS, PDUs, and also for the typically we're full of one control rooms. They have the city light, city power, and A and B, and also they have some called UPS, unstoppable power source there to make sure once you lost this city power, you can make sure we have a power feed to the servers. So when the entity built this control rooms maybe a couple of years ago, even 10 years ago, right? So everything's designed or this the facility or the machine is based on standards maybe already out of dates. So they need to do the real time, do the monthly, quarterly, the rehearsal or drill, or to make sure current design still can fit in all the requirements. Because you during the 10 years, you already add a new resource, new machine, and then new manpower there. So you need to make sure this kind of facility still can work for the right now requirements. And another one is alarming. So the system, so if you see the solution is weird, you need to send the alarm to the system, let the system operator or IT support know what's going on. So for the SE solution, not only monitor diverge or non or unsolved, but also need monitor this is stale data. So sometimes I see this events. So the entity, the RTCA keep running very well converged, but later they detect that they use the latest, they use the previous the measurement for until hour. So they didn't pay attention. The solution is intact. Is the IT identical for the past hour. So we need alarm there to monitor these kind of things to let people know, hey, something's wrong. So it doesn't make sense. This solution is identical for past hour. So you may take a look. So something's wrong over there. So also need alarm, need not, so we cannot, so this common sense, so we cannot monitor ourselves. We need someone else monitor us or the help us. So the alarm, if you want to monitor EMS, better you don't build the watchdog on the EMS, because EMS, if EMS has issue, I don't think the alarm will build on the EMS still working as well. So you may need a third party or independent alarm to there to watch this EMS to check this status. So make sure there's some problem there. And the last, so is more important, and maybe to you guys as well. So the database testing. So always test. The more the test, the more confidence you gain, right? So for example, we see right now our EMS software is more the fantasy, like use C, C++, Java, or Python, or the other advanced computer languages. So it's hard for the system operator to debugging what's going on. Everything's exchanged in the memory, right? Especially if you go to cloud. So it's hard for you the debugging. So the first we need the vendor to make sure the software quality to perform the test as much as they could. And for the entity, so you need to build the complete the testing process. So like a scope, what is the test scope, how you want to test, how you execute this test, what's conclusion. So hey, I made this one, I think it's pass. If I miss this one, but I missed that one, I think it's okay, but I need to watch out or something like that. Also, the other things just increase to maybe increase the CPU or the other memory usage to extreme level, if possible, to watch that. Rely on the alarm, you need to watch this one, and do a lot of other the called damage or damage testing. So make sure you're still with the extreme scenario, so we still can handle this one. If you cannot handle, but you need the software, need a vendor, need to provide some log or some printout for the for IT or the support can debugging and the support to provide a fix later. I think this is my last, this is all my presentations through this one. So I just briefly introduce our NERC, what we are, who we are, what do we do. And also I introduced some ERO and event analysis process. This is an important process for us. Through this process, we could know what's happened, know why it's happened, and also share some recommendation chain with industry to improve the system reliability and the resilience. And also as share some common theme from the EMS outages identified from the EAP. Hopefully this information or content is useful to you guys. So any questions or comments here?
Thank you, Dr. Wei.
Yep.
I have a few questions here. You mentioned there's typically a long delay between detecting a bug and actually implementing a vulnerability patch. What is that typical timeline? Is there any promising work towards real-time?
In the patch?
Yeah.
And also this depends on the role for this entity. So we have some small entity or we have a very important entity as well, right? So they will based on the criteria. So for example, for example, any patch rely on to security or cyber security, they will implement immediately. So they will, because this is important. And also once they receive, they have a IT department or IT support department team, they review patch based on the importance. So for just mentioned, so if related to cyber or the security, they will happen immediately. And for the major EMS software bug, they will say, okay, this bug is applied to us or not. Because maybe that's different version only for the Windows, but they on the Linux, they may not. Maybe so they will treat later, but they will pick up some things. Ideally, there was some monthly patch, right? Monthly do something to patch something, or maybe the quarterly for the something. Also, they have some ability to filter out these patches and select patches. And also, if they don't understand these patches or some bug, they can call the vendors. So no, get more details, like so talk to Microsoft or the ABB, Siemens, say, hey, what's going on here? So or support say, hey, does this patch impact us or not? So yeah, it depends. But typically for the cyber, or they treat where say very important, critical, they will imply immediately. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Narup. Can you comment on how categories are quantified for different events? For example, Cat 5 classifies events for loss of load of 10,000 megawatts or more. What factors, such as numbers of impacted prosumers, downtime, average power usages in metropolitan areas, etc., are used to determine this wattage?
Yeah, thank you so much for the questions. So I think this one, so maybe we will based on the impact to our based on this impact to our industry in grid. So I think you have already know what called 1 to 5. So it's back to next start next year, January 1st, we have a 1 to 3. So 4 and 5 has been downgraded to 3 because it's not necessarily have a 5 there. So we're back to all the event. So Cat 5 maybe it's a hurricane. So like hurricane, we call it Cat 5. But you look at it, so was just an event that I mentioned before, is caused by common electrical impact. But here you make some natural, like hurricane, you swept all the United States. Maybe this caused by flood. Maybe he caused by something, not common electrical things. So we will treat these events, not event. So cause event set maybe. So here we will, for based on this way, so you like, you will look at so 2,000 or 5,000 of different layer to impact to this kind of things. I hope this answers the question. So we already published new the EAP 0.5 in our NERC.com. You can look at, you can compare this old one, new one, you will see the difference. Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is from Akshay. What kind of machine learning models are used for bad data detection, and what would be a sound strategy to deal with false positives and time delays that may be posed by the model prediction times?
Thank you. It's a good question. It's my question as well. So because we are not the research, the center or university or academia. So we would rely on your guys to tell us what is a good way to go, right? So you see our for algorithms like Newton-Raphson or DC decoupled is all from university as well. So if you can build machine learning or AI to help us detect this world, it's pretty welcome. So far, I have no idea. Personally, I don't know what this model going to be used for detect. I think so it's open to everything, right? As long as you can detect this model, I think it's a good model. So so far, I have no idea, but I will rely on your guys.
Okay.
The third one, I think from the question for the folks who could know resource on more history events, where do you recommend that they go? What's the real questions here? So could you rephrase a little bit?
Where can people go for historical data on EMS events, if that's publicly available?
Yes or no? Because we don't share these details. Maybe because a lot of information is it's a cyber things. You know a lot of details. So why it's cost problem, right? And why this is very important for us to, especially right now, you see a lot of cyber attack. So we will prevent this kind of things. But we will share, just like today, I will share some common theme based on this kind of things, what the challenge we are facing. And also you can look at our lesson learned. We publish a lot of lesson learned to public. It's also based on the actual events. So you can see how they definitely will already hide the company name and the very details like a switch model or model or some route model as well. So, but basically, but you can tell. So from a more high level, so you see how they cause this issue, how can we prevent this issue. You can go to our lesson learn, you can get more information. Also read our EMS documents. So yeah.
Okay. And then what are the challenges that we need to consider when it comes to integrating IT and OT security, especially for electric grid solutions?
Yes, IT and OT excursions. It's a very good question. So right now it's IT and OT is more connected to other, right? So it's very good questions. So for the OT things, so it's just my personal understanding, just my Wei Qiu's understanding, not the NERC, not the EM or the other entity, just my personal understanding. The challenge for us is how do you make sure this is IT is OT? Because right now it's very hard to has very black and white. So this issue is IT or OT. Everything is combined together, right? So EMS, you see the OT, you operate some things, but it's software, right? It's cost estimation or lots of things. So it's software as well. So yeah, operator also need some route switches called firmware. This also is IT if you call it IT. So to me, is how do we this OT and security, both security need to combine together, not just think of IT things, not OT things. So this is my personal understanding. Things, how do you, because so far I think a lot of people just talk IT or IT. Maybe need to combine it together because IT/OT. It's just my personal view here. Yeah. Okay, next question is in the slide 18, you mentioned use testing databases. How the database is kind of application? Okay, it's a very good question. So right now, well, databases is a lot is Oracle database, SQL. For the most vendor provide is SQL, but some vendor build their own. Like GE, they use their own database called the Habitat database. They use different data structures. It's all relational database. So pretty hard to use non-relational because they need to query or do a lot of things. I know non-relational is very easy to expand, right? To easily they don't have any schema there. However, so far we have used relational as well, but later we'll see. So once you push to cloud, right? You can see the AWS, EC2, or SEC3, or the other Microsoft. You will see a multiple the database you can choose, but it depends on what you need. But right now, as far as I know, it's all the relational databases like SQL, and yeah, it's either MySQL or the Oracle database.
Okay.
And the next one is, can you comment on the cyber info engaging can prove security or security info? How the cyber informed engaging engineering can improve security? Yeah, I think so. The EMS need to rely on very important cybers. So back at a long time ago, EMS very simple, right? Just on software. Right now is you need to build the different communication centers or data centers Also, you get some field from your neighbors, also from the fields. How you cyber make sure that all the security, the data being secured, not being attacked. Also, I attend IEEE, the general meeting. They talk about how you know this measurement has been attacked, right? So people maybe the bad player maybe set some very bad measurement over there just to make sure you can detect it, right? So I think it's very important. So here to make sure. Right now, we need to know this measured is real measured. This measurement is real from field, not being someone faked or fake feeding or pseudo med. So something being inject to your one of router or switches or some receivers and inject there. So you should have a capability to identify that and also isolate this measure, so-called pseudo or the fake measurement from your entire the calculation. Also make some important the actions to protect your system. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We also have a few questions in the chat from Prashant. The first one is, do you see more physical or cyber events in the EMS system? And this is very
so far we haven't seen any cyber attack to us. So cross finger.
Okay.
And yeah, we all see we don't see any cyber attack to us. So far so good.
So this is very close to a question I had, which was in terms of reliability, what's more of a concern to you, attacks or extreme weather events?
Oh, can you say again? Sorry, a little bit.
In terms of reliability, what's more of a concern, either cyber or physical attacks or extreme weather events?
Oh, wow. This, I think to me is equally important. You have to see. So I know so far we haven't seen a cyber attack on our things, but we will pay attention to that to make sure everything is fine. Yeah.
Okay, and then I think our last question, again from Prashant, is you talked about the bug in the telecom switch. How long did it take to detect and recover from that event? What are the most frequent event types do you see, and how long do they last?
Yeah, most how long is for example is for the physical some device failure. So they have to go to fix that, go to field to fix the problem. It took a long time, maybe 2 hours.
Okay, I think we got all the questions. Thank you for your presentation.
No problem, my pleasure. Thank you all.
Yep. And this will be recorded and posted to YouTube. We'll share the video with you. We'll also send you a plaque and a certificate for contributing to our webinar.
No problem, my pleasure. A good day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.